Now in Nightside, a standoff near Chief Gary Park. Why police were searching a home in that neighborhood.
In the First Alert Weather Center, we're tracking areas of dense fog tonight and some wet weather heading into the holiday weekend.
And we meet with the family of murder victim Janelle Martinson, who explain what they think led up to her death. You're watching 4 News Now, Nightside. Thanks so much for staying up with us. I'm Derek Dice. New details just coming in tonight. There was a standoff near Chief Gary Park in northeast Spokane tonight. Spokane police took a man into custody at a house on East Cinto, and they are now searching the property for evidence in an investigation into felony harassment. We'll keep you posted with any new information as it becomes available. A cousin of a missing woman who was found dead in Valley Ford last week is in mourning tonight. Janelle Martinson vanished in late November, with her cousin left to wonder what happened. Court documents show she was allegedly killed by her ex-boyfriend, Colton Russell, who himself was killed a week and a half ago in northeast Spokane. Martinson's body was found on December 14th off of South Madison Road. According to court documents, Martinson's murder was discovered during the investigation into the deaths of Russell and Kiara Morgan Whelan. The suspect in those murders, Brandon Kenny, told investigators Russell had killed Martinson and then threatened to kill him if he didn't help move her body. Martinson's cousin says she was a domestic violence victim at the hands of Russell.
She loved him, and he had already beat her up before multiple times.
Alicia Galbraith says Martinson depended on Russell for illegal drug use. The Spokane County Medical Examiner says the cause of her death is pending. Murder suspect Brandon Kenny is being held on $1 million bond. He's charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. Well, friends of the Kellogg family that Major John Kaler pleaded guilty to killing in June want people to know their story. According to court documents, Kaler told police he was upset that the family's older son had exposed himself to his younger daughter, and police didn't do anything about it. But friends of that family say there's another side of the story. Kenna Gardapi was the mom that Kaler killed. He also murdered Kenna's dad and her 2 teenage boys. Kenna's friends say the family has been portrayed in a bad light, and they want to set the record straight. As they flip through old photos, they shared stories of Kenna. They say she was the life of the party and outdoorsy. The family would often go into the mountains of Silver Valley, hiking in the summer and skiing in the winter. They say she was a single mom who would do anything for her boys.
She worked all the time. Granted, she slept on the floor, so both the kids had their own rooms. You know, she gave up everything for those boys. She would do anything for them. She was an incredible mom.
Another friend of Kenna's said some people believe Kenna didn't care about the issues her older son Devin was having. She said Devin had mental health issues, but Kenna had taken him to the doctor for evaluations and had been working on it. Her friends say she deserves better than what she's being portrayed to be. All right, we have been seeing quite a bit of fog lately. Sounds like it's going to get even soupier.
Yes, it is getting dense. Here's a look at the view from 500 West Boone Avenue across to the Spokane Veterans Memorial Arena. Can barely see across the street, thankfully, for the lights. A dense fog advisory has been issued until 11 o'clock tomorrow morning for parts of the Palouse as well as Spokane County, heading over into Whitman County, Lincoln County, parts of Grant County, and even heading up through the Okanagan Valley or Waterville Plateau. That advisory does not include North Idaho, but we do have pockets of dense fog across the entire region. The area of greatest concern, of course, right along the I-90 corridor, where visibility is less than a quarter mile all the way from Coeur d'Alene down through Ritzville and almost into Moses Lake. It's down to a mile in Sandpoint. Lewiston visibility down to a quarter of a mile, and right around the Spokane area. Again, it's not just out at the airport and the Air Force Base. Dense fog in Spirit Lake. We've got a mile visibility in Deer Park and some dense fog in Hayden and Coeur d'Alene as well. Temperatures are still in the 40s in many locations, so freezing fog has not been much of an issue. It is 33 in Spangle. That said, as we cool down just a few more degrees tonight, you may run into some icy spots on the roadways. Here's a look at your Thursday planner. It's going to be a gray day, low clouds and fog, a high temperature of 40 degrees. I'll be back with your 7-day outlook and some Wildlife Wednesday photos in just a few minutes.
Well, an 8-year-old from Spokane Valley is a hero for saving his mom's life over the summer. This week, Leonel Bermudez was recognized for his bravery at a Spokane Valley Fire Commissioners meeting, receiving the fire department's life-saving award. Over the summer, his mom, Monica, had a seizure and collapsed. Leonel and his 11-month-old sister were the only ones home at the time. The 8-year-old bravely called 911, staying on the line until paramedics arrived. He then let them in and answered all of their questions, helping save his mom's life.
He's my hero, because if he wasn't for him, I don't know, maybe I'm not here.
Captain Josh Lofton of the Spokane Valley Fire Department says Leonel did everything right in this situation and hopes everyone will be able to do the same in future emergencies. Pretty great. All right, new on Nightside, a hiker who fell more than 1,200 feet in the Olympic National Forest over the weekend was saved by a flashlight he was carrying. According to the Naval Air Station Whidbey Island, the 30-year-old man was hiking Mount Eleanor on Saturday when he fell down a ravine and the person he was with couldn't find him. Search and rescue crews started to search about 1,000 feet down from the top when they saw an avalanche run out and a flashing light. The hiker was taken to the hospital and was treated for a broken arm, hypothermia, and cuts. Mount Eleanor is nearly 6,000 feet in elevation at its summit. Well, multiple reports say Washington State and Oregon State are working on a deal to join the West Coast Conference in basketball and all other sports besides football and baseball for the next 2 seasons. Sports director Julian Minnesone joins us in studio with the details. So, Julian, how soon do we think this deal could get done?
Well, according to Yahoo Sports, it is expected to be finalized this week. WSU and OSU would compete as affiliate members of the WCC. This means the games would count towards conference standings. The Cougars and Beavers would also be able to compete in conference tournaments. Washington State and Oregon State have a 2-year grace period to operate as a 2-team conference and potentially rebuild the Pac-12. The WSU and OSU football teams already have a scheduling agreement with the Mountain West for next season. And Gonzaga head coach Mark Few was asked about it after the game tonight. Few said he wanted to gather a little bit more information before giving a comment, but a move like this could set up a potential matchup in men's basketball between Gonzaga and Washington State for the first time since 2015. Should be exciting. Now, as far as Gonzaga, they had one more game before the holiday break. It was tonight against Jackson State. We're going to have highlights coming up in just a few minutes in sports.
All right, Julian, thank you. A beloved Washington town makes GMA's list of the most festive places in America. We'll take a look at why, plus another local event that will help you get into the festive spirit.
I have some Wildlife Wednesday photos coming up for you. Here's a preview and a great example of the different ages of bald eagles. This from Kathy Bolam. She captured this image at Lake Coeur d'Alene. On the far right-hand side of your screen, you could see a very young juvenile with the dark head, an older juvenile in the middle, and then a 5-year-old with that bright white, iconic bald eagle head. Gorgeous photo, Kathy. I'll be back after the break.
Download the KXLY Plus app on your connected TV. 4 News Now is brought to you by Mechanics Pride.
Here's a holiday thought to ponder. Is it truly a wish list if you only have one wish? Here's to getting everything you're hoping for this season. Make your wish list a reality with exceptional offers during the season of Audi.
We are here in Israel, a nation at war, the worst attack in 50 years. Israel waging a fierce bombardment of Gaza.
When it matters most, America turns to David Muir and ABC's World News Tonight.
4 News Now wants to take you inside the walls of Sacred Heart Children's Hospital to meet brave children and their caregivers. Miracle Mondays, brought to you by your locally owned Inland Northwest Ace dealers.
I'm Mark Peterson, the Extreme Team and Horizon Credit Union, ready to take on our next job. If you know of a project that needs an Extreme Team makeover, go to KXLY.com to nominate it. Our thanks to Horizon Credit Union for sponsoring the 4 News Now Extreme Team.
The holidays inspire us all to connect. With family, with friends, no matter what the road throws at you. So find the connection you're looking for this winter and a new SUV with standard all-wheel drive during the Mazda Season of Inspiration sales event.
Right now at Foothills Mazda, get 0% financing for 5 years and 0 down payment with approved credit on the all-wheel drive Mazda CX-5. Shop now at SpokaneMazda.com.
I was only planning to jingle some of the way tonight, but now I think I might be jingling all the way for you.
It's never too early for late night cheer.
How satisfied are you with your visit with us?
I'm not satisfied.
Jimmy Kimmel Live, weeknights on ABC.
4 News Now is brought to you by Lewis Clark State College, Career and Technical Education.
All right, welcome back to Nightside. We've been talking a lot about the fog, but it's also Wednesday, so we got to talk about some wildlife as well.
Yes, we do. Our favorite part of Wednesday. Let's start off with my favorite animal, a moose. Mark, oh, and it says snowy owl. Oh, Mark's going to give me a hard time about that. Now, he had a snowy owl photo earlier today that's going to be on my Facebook page. This is clearly a cow moose that Mark had to climb quite a ways in elevation to find this much snow. Said the moose looked right at him for just a sec and then went on to munching, trying to find something good to eat in that snow. A moose, not an owl. But here is a bald eagle action shot from Kazu Crumpleman. So many great bald eagle photos from Lake Coeur d'Alene. They are having a record year out there. Almost 400 eagles have been counted. From Kimberly, she spotted this buck in pursuit. The rut still on for this fella, and he had a doe in his sights. Wasn't even looking at Kimberly, was looking at the future Mrs. Deer Buck. From Marty Stowe, another one of my favorite critters, a little pygmy owl. I can't believe how fierce they are. They're so tiny and cute. Marty said this owl tried to get a vole and missed. 4 things to know about your weather. Dense fog advisory for parts of the region until 11 a.m. It is going to be a gray and foggy Thursday. We have the possibility of some rain mixed with snow Friday night. The closer the system gets, the more it looks like it's just going to be rain because of the speed at which it is moving through. Still a tiny chance of snow on the 25th. Tracking our weather pattern, low pressure to our south over California, wet weather moving north and into British Columbia. But then we have this front coming through after a dry Thursday that will cross the Cascades early in the day Friday and into the Spokane area and Coeur d'Alene in the afternoon, producing rain. That front will eventually move through, dropping our temperatures for the weekend. It is also going to produce a small amount of snow over the Cascade Passes late Friday night, 1 to 2 inches of snow, and then a hit and miss snow shower behind the front if you're on Snoqualmie on Saturday. Piece of cake by Snoqualmie Pass in the winter standards. A closer look at that rain coming in Friday noon. Very, very light, and that system is going to move fast. By 5 o'clock, it is mostly gone without a chance to put down any of that snow. So it's rain on Friday. Winter, by the way, officially starts tomorrow, and here we are with temperatures in the 40s. Then we cool down for the weekend, and it should be with we can avoid the fog, a pretty nice weekend, and a 20% chance of snow on Christmas. Hopefully that will come into sharper focus as we get closer.
But still, I mean, yeah, great news for anybody who's hitting the road to head to spend the holiday with family.
No drama on the passes.
All right, Chris, thank you. Well, if you still need help getting into the holiday spirit, the historic Campbell House in Browns Addition is holding its annual Campbell House Holidays event. You and your family will get to step back in time with beautifully decorated rooms at the Campbell House. In addition to the Christmas decorations, there will be live music and family fun activities like a scavenger hunt. You'll even be able to meet a few members of the Campbell family who lived in Spokane during the early 1900s.
We will have several members of the Campbell family as well as different members of the household staff around, and they are living in 1910, so be sure to ask them about the gossip from the newspapers of the day.
Now, the event runs from noon to 4 every day until December 23rd. Tours start every 15 minutes, just $2 per person with a museum admission. And although the live actors that she was referring to won't be there after this Saturday, you can still enjoy holiday decorations at the Campbell House through January 16th. All right, new on Nightside, the Bavarian village of Leavenworth has made it to the big leagues. It's the latest stop on GMA's Tour of America's Most Festive Towns. Will Gans has the story.
There's Christmas magic in these mountains.
Magical. Festive. Wonderful.
With more than 500,000 Christmas lights, making this the most Christmassy cosmopolis south of the North Pole.
Good morning, America, from Leavenworth, Washington.
Nestled in the foothills of the towering Cascade Mountains of the Pacific Northwest, the business of Christmas is booming.
This last weekend was a 20% gain from the pedestrian counts over last year.
Decorating starts in early October, taking a team more than 1,000 hours, with lights weighing a total of 6,000 pounds. Erica Bowie and her family, now 3 generations strong, run Leavenworth Reindeer Farm.
I'm able to see 1,000 people a day that come to me and they go, I can't believe you get to live on a reindeer farm and do this for work.
What would you say is the biggest misconception people have about reindeer?
Reindeer do not eat carrots.
What?
Reindeer need soft foods to eat.
The Gingerbread Factory celebrating 35 years of sweet success.
We just keep baking. We have a line out the door and we're shipping as well.
Do you have a favorite creation that you've made?
Yes.
And?
It was the Seahawks Stadium.
And the gumdrop on top?
We've become a lot of people's family traditions.
It's an incredible joy. And the fact that we get to be a part of these folk stories is an honor and a privilege.
Leavenworth at Christmas time is definitely magical. Well, the Spokane Airport expects this holiday season to be the busiest one yet, and it wants you to be prepared. The busiest travel days are expected to be this Friday, the day after Christmas, and the following Thursday and Friday. Throughout the season, traffic is expected to peak between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. every day. So what can you do to prevent any issues? For starters, wait to wrap those gifts. Don't bring wrapped presents in your carry-on or checked luggage. Arrive at the airport at least 2 hours before boarding and have your boarding pass and ID ready to go before you enter the security line. All right. Next on, or new on Nightside, excuse me, whether you're giving or receiving a gift card this holiday season, check carefully to make sure you're not falling for a scam. The Better Business Bureau is warning that gift card scams are surging. They're a popular holiday gift idea, but scammers are increasingly targeting gift cards to steal from you. Scam reports are up 50% since last year. The BBB is warning that scammers could be tampering with gift cards and stealing barcodes, or targeting online shoppers and asking them to pay with a gift card that's not from the retailer.
That's a huge red flag. There's a lot of scams that are perpetrated where the scammer is asking for a gift card, such as like a grandparent scam or a utility scam.
Now, before you buy a gift card, check for stickers covering the barcode by running your finger over the back of the physical card. They may contain a phony barcode, and when it gets scanned at checkout, you'll send that cash to a scammer's account. Be careful of websites that check your card's balance, too. Some sites could use your card's ID number and PIN and drain money from it. And finally, check for ripped or wrinkled packaging. The BBB says thieves often remove gift cards from the display rack and record the numbers that are linked to it. All right, still to come here on Nightside, the unconventional way one Vietnam vet is spending his retirement. That story next on Nightside.
Later tonight on Nightline, the forgotten moments of hope in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Veteran journalist John Donovan reflects on 4 decades covering the region. Plus, Adam Driver now steering Ferrari onto the big screen.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Yeah! Eat big, spend small. Eat that big, oh my, Carl's Cali Classic Charbroiled Burger flavor. In a full meal combo with small fries and a drink for just $5.99. Big, small, win, win.
We love our house, but lately we've been feeling a little cramped.
So we talked to ICCU about a new home loan. The process was super quick, and we got a really great rate.
We start house hunting tomorrow.
Preferably something with a bigger garage.
Do more
Whatever your plans are this season, do more in a new Chevy. Use your Red Tag bonus cash to get $87.50 total cash allowance on this Silverado. See your hometown Chevy dealer today.
You've worked hard your whole life. Now when you need Social Security disability, they make you work even harder.
Paperwork, phone calls, delays, just to get denied?
You've paid into the system this whole time.
And this is how you get treated?
That's when you call 1-800-LAW-0842.
We've helped thousands of people get the benefits they deserve, even if they've been denied.
We'll navigate the system and work hard for you.
Call 800-LAW-0842.
Yeah! If you can't resist the flavor of the Carl's Jr. Guacamole Bacon Burger, charbroiled beef, crispy bacon, and lots of house-made guacamole, it's okay. Everyone gives in to the guac. Free guacamole bacon burger with new My Rewards sign-up.
4 News Now is brought to you by Coeur d'Alene Nissan.
All right, thanks for staying up with us here on Nightside. Taking care of your yard may become more difficult. A proposed bill that's been filed for the upcoming legislative session in Olympia calls for a ban on gas-powered lawnmowers, chainsaws, and more. Washington Representative Amy Whalen of Bellevue is proposing the ban on gas-powered outdoor equipment as part of an effort to go green. The bill states that gas and diesel outdoor tools emit air pollutants that add to climate change and impact our health. But the owner of Spokane Power Tools says a major change like this just isn't realistic here in Washington.
In eastern Washington here, we get a lot of snow, and trying to tackle, large amounts of snow with a battery-operated snowblower could be quite difficult. You'd have to have a whole bucket of batteries to get through it.
If passed, this law would ban gas and diesel equipment from being produced after 2026 or sooner. Well, new on Nightside.
Come on. Look at you.
Well, there are many ways you dream of spending your retirement. For 80-year-old Texas Vietnam veteran Lynn Harris, that looks like volunteering as a cuddler at an Austin hospital's NICU. It's his job to just go around and make sure the babies feel loved.
As long as someone's talking to them, as long as someone's holding them, as long as someone's touching them, those kids are happy. And I'm happy.
Sounds like a great job. Lynn had already been volunteering at the hospital for a decade when this role became available 4 years ago. Once Lynn held his first NICU baby, he realized the greater purpose he would get to serve for these kids that need some extra special attention. He says the other big perk of his role is that it lightens the load for the nurses, which they most definitely deserve. Well, a new test could tell you whether you're at risk of developing an addiction to opioids. The FDA has approved a tool that uses genetic testing to assess whether certain people are more likely to develop opioid use disorder. The Autogenomics AVERT-D test is meant for adults considering a short-term course of oral opioid pain meds, like after surgery. It uses a cheek swab sample to analyze 15 genetic markers involved in the brain's reward pathways and associated with addiction. Despite the FDA clearance, some experts say they're still wary about use of the test in clinical practice. Well, Gonzaga basketball was looking to get back on track. Highlights and post-game reaction from their game against Jackson State coming up next in sports.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by the Salvation Army Spokane.
Starting in January,
yes, Ken.
Celebrity Jeopardy is moving to Tuesdays.
The greatest game show on earth.
Holy moly.
Get ready for it.
Hosted by me, Ken Jennings.
Blinded by the star power.
We may make television history.
Like anything can happen.
Yes! You did good, but you failed me in the end.
Celebrity Jeopardy returns new Tuesday, January 2nd on ABC and stream on Hulu.
Bounced from one doctor to the next. Did they even send my lab work? Wait, was I supposed to bring that? Then there's the forms, the bills, the nota bills, the... Press forward and repeat the captions.
Healthcare can get a whole lot easier when your medical records, care, and coverage are in one place. At Kaiser Permanente, all of us work together for all that is you.
Whatever the holidays mean to you, get the most out of them
in a new Honda. Whether it's taking in the lights with all your friends in a spacious Accord, or taking in a snow day in a rugged CRV. Your holiday adventure awaits with a new Honda during Happy Honda Days. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer today.
Experience the magic and share the joy at Disney's Frozen, the spectacular new musical. From the producer of The Lion King and Aladdin, this beloved story comes to life on stage in an unforgettable theatrical experience. You've never seen Frozen like this.
Disney's Frozen is coming to First Interstate Center for the Arts, July 24th to August 4th. Don't be left out in the cold. Get tickets at BroadwaySpokane.com today.
Now, typically a game against Jackson State near the holidays wouldn't mean much, but make no mistake, Gonzaga desperately needed a win tonight. Welcome into sports. I'm Julian Minnesome. The Bulldogs have lost 2 of their last 3 games and have dropped in the top 25 rankings. Zags looking for a get-back game before 8 days off of the Christmas break. Former veteran from the NBA, Mo Williams, is the head coach for Jackson State. He played in the league for 13 seasons. Gonzaga is still without their guard, Luka Kranovich, who broke his non-shooting hand during shoot-around last week. No timetable on a return, but it's okay. The Bulldogs have Graham Ike inside. He led Gonzaga with 22 points. Now, Gonzaga fellow forward Braden Huff also getting in on the action after the stop. Huff is going to get the slam right here. Gonzaga dominated with their post players tonight. Bulldogs up by double digits, but Jackson State trying to climb back into it. Colty Young fires this from 3 and rattles it home. No students at this game. They're on break, so the Zags had to create their own energy, and Anton Watson does just that. There aren't many posters being made these days, but that would make a good one. Gonzaga rolls 100-76, and now the Bulldogs will get a much-needed 8 days off.
Just trying to get to Christmas, the first time where you can actually take multiple days off. You know, you just don't get multiple days off during these years. That'll be kind of nice, especially for some of these guys that have logged heavy minutes, and I think that's the best thing. We know we got one more big one, and then conference play.
Gonzaga will take on last year's national runner-up San Diego State next Friday at home. Washington State football added some talent to the roster. The Cougars signed 25 players on this National Signing Day. WSU's recruiting class ranks 62nd in the nation, according to 24/7 Sports. That's good enough for first place in the Mountain West, where the Cougars will be playing next season. The class is highlighted by quarterback Evans Chuba, who is from Clearwater Academy in Florida. WSU also signed 4 players from the state of Washington. That's the most of any FBS program. WSU also added Camden DeGraw from Coeur d'Alene High School. There's some local flavor there. Now, the Cougars also kept most of their current roster. Only 15 players have transferred. And head coach Jake Dickert says the collapse of the Pac-12 had little impact on recruiting given the amount of players they were able to retain.
Shows, hopefully, to everybody out there the type of culture that we've built here, that our guys want to stay. They want to be coached here. They want to be developed. They want to be treated fairly. I just think that's what, yeah, these new guys are great, but there's no secret that was kind of the #1 thing that we had to do, and we had the ability to do that.
Washington State women's hoops ending the non-conference schedule with a road matchup again. The Cougars hung tough in this one, but Auburn made some big shots down the stretch. Scott Grayson again with the shot clock winding down, hits the 3, and WSU, well, they fall on the road, 69-62. Washington State now will open up Pac-12 play at Stanford on January 5th. Gonzaga women's hoops in Phoenix taking on Arizona in the Jerry Colangelo Hall of Fame series. The Bulldogs got a huge boost from forward Yvonne Ejim. Ejim running the floor, and Kaylee Trong with the beautiful pass in front for the lay-in. Zags have an early lead, but Arizona hung around in this one. Kylan Gilbert is dangerous in the open floor. Gilbert with the layup, and that cuts Gonzaga's lead to just 1. But Arizona had no answer for Ejim. She had 27 points to lead the way for the Zags as Gonzaga gets a huge win on a neutral site, 81-69. The Bulldogs host New Mexico on Friday. And Washington State volleyball coach Jen Greeny is leaving Pullman to take the head coaching job at West Virginia. Greeny has spent the last 13 years at WSU, leading the Cougars to at least 20 wins or more in each of the last 3 seasons. Now in 2023, WSU had 26 wins, which was the most in a single season for the program since 1997. And Greenie, the Davenport native, helped get WSU to 8 straight NCAA tournament appearances, so wishing her the best. Also wanted to shout out Idaho, who signed 28 student athletes on their National Signing Day. They got some from Washington, Idaho, Oregon, Eastern Washington, 23 players, including 2 from the Idaho in the area, Shea Robertson from Coeur d'Alene and Asher Bowie from Rathstrom.
Yeah, and Idaho got the kid from Rogers and the kid from East Valley as well, so nice to see some of those local guys getting signed. Awesome. All right, we're back with more right after this.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app. At 4 News Now, we believe you should expect more from local news. Our team is committed to a community conversation and bringing you information you need when and where you need it. Numerica believes in and supports that mission.
Roundup's like an accidental savings account. I get paid every time I buy something. It's like a bonus for me.
During the holiday sale at Furniture Row, I could show you 1 sofa, 1 table, 1 mattress, even just 1 bed. But then you'd miss out on the hundreds of other sofas, tables, beds, mattresses, and accessories that make up Furniture Row's incredible selection and guaranteed lowest prices. And best of all, everything is on sale. Plus, 5 years, no interest financing. Shop the holiday sale today, only at Furniture Row.
My darling granddaughter, this camera was given to me when I was your age. May it capture your big, beautiful life the way it did mine.
It's so surprising what the little things can do. Wouldn't it be wonderful if everybody...
Oh, Merry Christmas, Grandma.
Your whole health is more than what you find at the doctor's office, because it's all around you. The food you eat, what makes you happy, and what keeps you up at night. The place you call home. It's why we created a health insurance company that considers so much more. WellPoint, your whole health is our whole point.
See breaking news in your area or have a story idea? Contact 4 News Now.
I'm glad I have my Christmas lights out. Otherwise, I might not be able to see my house. A dense fog advisory until 11 o'clock tonight. We're actually one of the clearer spots here in downtown. There's some much denser fog as you head into the outlying areas. Tomorrow will be dry, and then we have some rain coming by noon on Friday.
All right, new on Nightside, Christmas is just around the corner, as you know, or better know. And even the cosmos are getting a little bit festive. Look at this. This new image from NASA of what's known as the Christmas tree cluster. The stars in this particular cluster are between roughly 1 and 5 million years old. It's about 2,500 light years from Earth. I mean, it actually looks like a Christmas tree, kind of.
I love it.
All right, and it's down to the semifinals now of the 4 News Now Festive Film Face-Off, and the votes are nearly tied between White Christmas and How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and between Charlie Brown Christmas and It's a Wonderful Life. You can cast your vote for your favorites on KXLY.com/holiday movies. Julian, Chris and I were talking earlier that we can't believe some of the ones that are out already, like Elf and National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Home Alone.
A Christmas Story. All right, that's it for Nightside.